When Jason Lara's phone rang at 9:43 p.m., he had no idea his life was about to change forever. He was Michael Jordan's head security guard, the best on the team, trusted, respected, making great money for the first time since his wife died. But that phone call changed everything. His 8-year-old daughter Lily was in an ambulance. She couldn't breathe. A severe asthma attack. The hospital said, "Come now." Jason looked at his post, the most important post in the entire building. Then he looked at his phone. He could hear his daughter crying in the background. "Where's Daddy? I want my daddy." Michael Jordan had one rule, just one rule that could never be broken. Jordan made it crystal clear on day one. Break this rule and you're done. I don't care who you are. I don't care why. You're finished. Jason knew about the other guards who broke that rule. Every single one got fired immediately. No exceptions, no second chances. But his daughter was dying, so Jason made a choice. He broke Jordan's rule. He ran to the hospital. He held his daughter's hand. He kept his promise to his dying wife. And the next morning he had to face Michael Jordan. What happened in that office will shock you. What Jordan did next didn't just change Jason's career. It changed the entire NBA. It changed how teams treat their employees. It changed everything. But you have to watch the whole video to find out what Jordan said. Because the truth behind that rule, it's not what you think. Stay with me. This story will change how you see Michael Jordan forever. Let me take you back to the beginning. Jason Lara sat alone in the dark security office. His hands would not stop shaking. The clock on the wall showed 11:47 p.m. He had done something terrible. He broke the rule. The one rule Michael Jordan told him never to break. Not for anyone. Not for anything. Jason pressed his palms against the cold desk. His heart pounded so hard it hurt. Sweat dripped down his forehead, even though the office was cold. He stared at his security badge lying on the desk. In a few minutes, he would have to give it back forever. The hallway outside was empty and quiet. Too quiet. Jordan would arrive any minute now. Jason knew it. Everyone knew when Michael Jordan was coming. You could feel it in the air. The energy changed. People stood straighter. They paid attention. But tonight, Jason wished Jordan would never come. He looked at the screen showing camera feeds from around the United Center. Other security guards walked their routes. They did their jobs. They followed the rules. All the rules. Jason used to be one of them. The best of them, actually. But not anymore. His phone sat on the desk next to his badge. The screen was dark now, but Jason could still hear the voice from 2 hours ago. Still hear the panic. Still hear the words that changed everything. "Mr. Lara, you need to come now." Jason closed his eyes. His daughter's face appeared in his mind. Lily, 8 years old. Brown eyes just like her mother's. Sarah's eyes. Sarah, who died 2 years ago. Sarah, who made him promise to always take care of their little girl. He kept that promise tonight, but he broke Jordan's rule to do it. Jason opened his eyes and looked at the security manual sitting on the shelf. He remembered his first day 6 months ago. Jordan had gathered all the security guards in a private meeting room. His face was serious. His voice was firm. "I have one rule that you must never break," Jordan had said. His eyes moved from guard to guard, making sure everyone understood. "Break this rule, and you're done. I don't care who you are. I don't care why you did it. You're finished." Everyone in that room had nodded. Everyone signed the agreement. Jason signed it too. He needed this job so badly. The pay was amazing. The benefits covered Lily's asthma medicine. For the first time since Sarah died, Jason had hope again. He thought he would never break that rule. Never. But life doesn't care about rules. Life doesn't care about promises to billionaire basketball players. Life only cares about the promises you make to your family. Jason heard footsteps in the hallway. Heavy footsteps. Confident footsteps. His stomach dropped. Jordan was here. Jason stood up slowly. His injured leg ached. The one that ended his army career years ago. He straightened his uniform one last time. He picked up his badge and held it in his hand. The footsteps grew louder. Jason took a deep breath. In a moment, he would face the most famous athlete in the world. He would face the man who gave him hope. The man who trusted him. The man whose one rule he broke. The door handle turned. Jason whispered to the empty room, "I'm sorry, Mr. Jordan, But I'd do it again. The door opened. The door opened. But it wasn't Michael Jordan. It was James, the night supervisor. His face looked tired and worried. "Jason," James said quietly, "go home. Be with your daughter. Mr. Jordan will see you tomorrow morning at 9. Jason nodded. He couldn't speak. His throat felt too tight. James patted his shoulder once, then walked away. Jason grabbed his jacket and walked to his car. The parking lot was nearly empty. His hands still shook as he started the engine. Tomorrow at 9 o'clock, his life would change forever. As he drove through the dark Chicago streets, Jason thought about how far he had come and how fast he was about to lose everything. 6 months ago, Jason Lara was a different man. Actually, he was a broken man. He sat in the waiting room of the United Center's Human Resources office. His left leg ached like it always did when he was nervous. The injury happened 3 years ago in Germany. He was an army sergeant then, strong, proud, a leader. Then came the explosion, the medical discharge, the end of everything he knew. Jason touched his leg without thinking. The doctors said he was lucky. The shrapnel could have killed him. Instead, it just ended his military career. Just took away his identity. Just left him with a limp and nightmares. "Lucky," Jason whispered to himself in that waiting room. He looked at the other people waiting for security jobs. They were younger, stronger. They didn't limp. Why would anyone hire him? But Jason needed this job desperately. His wife, Sarah, had died from cancer just 4 months earlier. The medical bills crushed them. They lost their house, lost their savings, lost everything except each other. And then he lost her too. Now it was just Jason and Lily, his 8-year-old daughter, his reason for breathing. Lily had asthma, bad asthma. The medicine cost $900 every month. Jason's previous security job barely paid rent. He couldn't afford the medicine and food. He had to choose. What kind of father has to choose? Jason Lara, a woman called his name. He stood up, trying not to limp, trying to look strong and capable. He followed her down a long hallway. She opened a door to an office. Michael Jordan sat behind the desk. Jason froze. He knew the Bulls owner would be involved somehow, but he didn't expect this. Not a personal interview, not with the legend himself. "Sit down, Jason," Jordan said. His voice was firm but not unkind. Jason sat. He felt like a kid called to the principal's office. Jordan looked at Jason's application. Army Sergeant, 10 years of service, honorable discharge. He looked up. "What happened?" "Explosion, sir. Germany. I was protecting my unit during a supply run." "Your leg?" "Yes, sir." Jordan was quiet for a moment. He studied Jason with those intense, famous eyes. "You have a daughter?" "Yes, sir. Lily, she's 8. "Your wife?" Jason's voice cracked. "She passed away. Cancer. 4 months ago." Jordan nodded slowly. Something changed in his eyes. Something softer. "I lost my father," he said quietly. "I understand that kind of pain." They sat in silence. 2 men who knew about loss. Then Jordan stood up and reached across the desk. "You're hired, Jason. I need people who understand what it means to protect what matters. You've been doing that your whole life." Jason shook his hand. He couldn't believe it. "Thank you, Mr. Jordan. I won't let you down." The pay is $65,000 a year. Full benefits. Health insurance starts immediately. $65,000. Jason felt dizzy. That was twice what he made before. The insurance would cover Lily's medicine. All of it. "There's just one rule," Jordan said. His voice became serious again. "One rule you can never break. We'll discuss it on your first day. But Jason, I mean this. Break that rule and you're done. No second chances." Jason nodded firmly. "I understand, sir. Whatever the rule is, I'll follow it, I promise." He meant it too. He would have promised anything for this chance. This job was his second chance at life. His way to keep his promise to Sarah. His way to give Lily the future her mother dreamed about. Jason remembered driving home that day. He walked into their tiny apartment and found Lily doing homework at the Kit Lara table. Her inhaler sat next to her math book. "Daddy!" She jumped up and hugged him. "Guess what, baby?" Jason picked her up, ignoring the pain in his leg. Daddy got a new job, a really good job. Does that mean I can keep doing ballet? Jason's eyes filled with tears. Sarah had enrolled Lily in ballet classes a month before she died. It was Sarah's dream to watch their daughter dance, but Jason had to cancel the classes. He couldn't afford them. Yes, baby, you can do ballet again, I promise. Lily squealed with joy. Jason held her tight and whispered, I'm going to give you everything Mommy wanted for you. I promise. I promise. Now 6 months later, Jason drove toward the hospital where the same daughter was recovering from tonight's asthma attack. He kept his promise to Sarah by being there for Lily, but he broke his promise to Jordan. Tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock, he would pay the price. Jason pulled into the hospital parking lot. He turned off the engine and sat in the darkness. His mind drifted back to his first official day of work, the day Jordan explained the rule. 6 months ago, Jason arrived at the United Center at 7 a.m. sharp. He wore his new security uniform. The badge felt heavy on his chest. Official, important. James, the night supervisor who would become his boss, met him in the lobby. Big day, Lara. Mr. Jordan wants to meet with all security staff before your shift. Conference room B. Jason followed James down the hallway. His leg ached, but he didn't limp. He wouldn't show weakness. Not today. The conference room was full. 15 security guards sat in chairs facing a podium. Everyone looked serious. No one smiled. The energy in the room felt thick and heavy. Then Michael Jordan walked in. Everyone stood up immediately. Jason stood too, his military training kicking in. Sit down, Jordan said. He walked to the front of the room. He didn't smile. He didn't do small talk. He just looked at each person carefully. Most of you know me, Jordan began. You know I care about security. You know I take this seriously. He paused. Today I'm going to tell you about one rule. The rule that matters more than any other. Jason leaned forward. Every guard in that room was completely silent. Jordan's voice became harder, colder. This rule exists for a reason, a very serious reason. Break this rule and you're done. I don't care who you are. I don't care why you did it. I don't care what emergency you have. You are done. Jason felt his stomach tighten. What could be so important? I'm going to say this once, Jordan continued. Listen carefully. Everyone held their breath. Jordan explained the rule. He spoke slowly, clearly. He made sure everyone understood. When he finished, he looked around the room. Does everyone understand? 15 heads nodded. Good. Now you're going to sign an agreement. This agreement says you know the rule, you understand the rule, and you accept that breaking it means immediate termination. No warnings, no second chances. A woman in a suit handed out papers. Jason read his carefully. The words were clear and simple. Break the rule, lose your job, sign here. Jason thought about Lily, about her medicine, about ballet classes, about the promise he made to Sarah. He picked up the pen and signed his name. He would never break this rule. Never. Over the next 6 months, Jason became the best security guard on Jordan's team. He learned every camera angle, every entrance, every weak point. He studied faces. He trusted his military instincts. 3 months into the job, Jason spotted a man acting strange near the private entrance. The man wore a Bulls jersey, but his eyes were wrong. Too focused, too intense. He kept looking at his watch and checking his phone. Jason approached him calmly. Can I help you, sir? The man's face changed. Panic, anger. He ran. Jason called it in immediately. Police caught the man 2 blocks away. He had photos of Jordan's family, plans written in a notebook. He was a stalker, a dangerous one. Jordan called Jason into his office the next day. You saved my family from a bad situation, Jordan said. Thank you, Jason. Just doing my job, sir. Jordan shook his hand. You're good at your job. After that day, everything changed. Jordan started greeting Jason by name. Evening, Jason. Simple words, but they meant everything. One night, Jordan stopped and asked, How's your daughter? Lily, right? Jason was shocked. Jordan remembered her name. She's great, sir. She loves her ballet classes. Jordan smiled, a real smile. That's good. That's really good. Jason walked home that night feeling 10 feet tall. This wasn't just a job anymore. He felt respected, valued, like part of something important, like family. The other guards noticed too. They whispered about Jason. Jordan's favorite. They weren't mean about it, just facts. But they also whispered about the rule. Remember Davis, one guard said during a break. He broke the rule last year. Emergency with his mom. Jordan fired him anyway. What about Laura? Another guard asked. The woman who worked here for 5 years? Same thing. Her kid was sick. She broke the rule. Gone the next day. Jason listened to these stories. He understood the message. Jordan was fair. Jordan was generous. But Jordan was inflexible about this one thing. The rule was everything. Jason looked at his badge every morning before work. He made himself a promise, a vow. I will never break the rule. No matter what, never. He believed it too, until tonight. Jason shook his head, clearing the memories. He got out of his car and walked into the hospital. He needed to see Lily. He needed to know she was okay. But first he needed to understand what he had done, what he had risked, what he had lost. Earlier that night, 9:15 p.m., the Chicago Bulls were playing the New York Knicks at home. The United Center was packed. 17,000 fans screamed and cheered. Music blasted. The energy was electric. Jason stood at his usual post, the private entrance on the east side. This entrance led to the family section where Jordan's guests sat. It was the most important post, the most trusted position. Jordan had given Jason this post 3 months ago. I trust you here, Jordan had said simply. Jason took that trust seriously. He watched every person who came through. He checked every ID. He followed every protocol. The game was intense. Bulls were up by 6 points in the third quarter. Jason could hear the crowd roaring through the walls. His phone rang at 9:43 p.m. Jason looked at the screen. Lily's school. That was strange. She should be at the after-school program, but they never called this late. He answered, This is Jason Lara. Mr. Lara, this is Mrs. Patterson from Lily's school. Her voice was shaking. Lily had an asthma attack, a bad one. The ambulance is taking her to Children's Memorial Hospital right now. The world stopped moving. What? Jason could barely breathe. How bad? Very bad, Mr. Lara. She couldn't breathe. Her inhaler wasn't working. The paramedics gave her oxygen, but Mrs. Patterson's voice cracked. She keeps asking for you. She's crying for her daddy. Jason looked at the clock. 9:44 p.m. His shift ended at midnight. 2 hours and 16 minutes away. I'm coming, Justin said. Tell her I'm coming. Please hurry, Mr. Lara. The call ended. Jason stood frozen. His heart pounded. His hands shook. Lily, his baby girl, she couldn't breathe. She was scared. She needed him, but he was at work, at his post, the most important post. The rule echoed in his mind. Jordan's voice. Break this rule, and you're done. Jason grabbed his radio. He called his supervisor. No answer. He tried again. Still nothing. He remembered there was a crowd problem at the north entrance. His supervisor was handling it. Everyone was busy tonight. The game was too big. Too many people. Jason called the backup guard, the one who was supposed to cover emergencies. Lara, I can't, the guard said. I'm stuck at the north entrance with Reynolds. We have 50 people trying to get in without tickets. It's chaos. I can't leave. Jason felt panic rising in his chest. My daughter's in the hospital. I need coverage. I'm sorry, man, I really am. But there's no one. Not for at least an hour. The call ended. Jason looked at his post. The hallway was empty right now. Quiet. But that could change any second. Someone could come through. Someone dangerous. His phone rang again. The hospital. Mr. Lara, a nurse's voice. Professional but urgent. Your daughter is in the emergency room. She's stable for now, but she's very distressed. She won't calm down. She keeps asking for her daddy. In the background, Jason heard it. The sound that broke him. Daddy, where's Daddy? I want my daddy. Lily's voice, terrified, struggling to breathe between words. Please, Mr. Lara, the nurse said. Can you come? Jason closed his eyes. He saw Sarah on her deathbed, her hand in his, her final words. Promise me you'll always be there for Lily. Always, no matter what. I promise, Jason had whispered. I promise. He opened his eyes. He looked at the empty hallway, then at the clock. 9:47 p.m. The game would end around 11:30 p.m. Jordan would walk through the building. Security would do their final checks. They would review the camera footage like they did every night. They would see that Jason abandoned his post. They would see he broke the rule. Jason thought about everything he would lose. The job, the salary, the health insurance that paid for Lily's medicine, ballet classes, their apartment, everything. But Lily was in the hospital, right now, scared and alone and calling for him. What good was a job if he wasn't there when his daughter needed him most? What good was following rules if he broke his promise to his dying wife? Jason pulled out his phone. He looked at a photo of Sarah and Lily. They were smiling, happy. The photo was taken a month before Sarah got sick. I'm sorry, Sarah, Jason whispered. I have to choose. And I'm choosing her. I'm choosing our daughter. He looked at his security badge, at the cameras, at the post he was about to abandon. His phone buzzed. A text from the hospital. Your daughter's oxygen levels are dropping. Please come now. Jason made his decision. He grabbed his jacket. He didn't call it in properly. He didn't activate the emergency protocol. He didn't follow any of the procedures he was trained to use. He just ran. He ran through the hallway, past the offices, past the other guards who were too busy to notice. He ran to the parking lot and jumped in his car. As he sped out of the lot, one thought filled his mind. Some rules are worth breaking. Some promises matter more. Jason drove faster than he should. Red lights blurred past. His hands gripped the steering wheel so tight they hurt. 10 minutes. Just 10 minutes to the hospital. Please let her be okay. Please. He pulled into the Children's Memorial Hospital parking lot at 10:18 p.m. He didn't bother parking properly. He just stopped the car and ran. His legs screamed with pain. The old injury protested every step. Jason didn't care. He burst through the emergency room doors. Lily Lara, he shouted at the nurse's desk. My daughter, where is she? The nurse looked at her computer. Room 7. Down the hall. Last door on the right. Jason ran again. His shoes squeaked on the clean hospital floor. He passed rooms full of sick children and worried parents. Finally, he saw it. Room 7. He pushed open the door. Lily lay in a hospital bed that looked too big for her small body. An oxygen mask covered her nose and mouth. Tubes connected to her arms. Monitors beeped steadily. Her brown eyes, Sarah's eyes, were red from crying. But when she saw Jason, those eyes grew wide. Daddy! The word came out muffled behind the oxygen mask. Jason rushed to her side. He grabbed her small hand and held it tight. His other hand brushed her dark hair back from her forehead. I'm here, baby, he whispered. Daddy's here, just like I promised Mommy. Lily's fingers squeezed his hand. Tears rolled down her cheeks, but she wasn't scared anymore. She was safe. Daddy was here. A doctor entered the room. She was young with kind eyes. Mr. Lara? How is she? Jason couldn't look away from Lily. She had a severe asthma attack, the worst one yet, but we got her stabilized. The oxygen is helping. She'll need to stay overnight for observation. Jason nodded. He didn't let go of Lily's hand. She was very brave, the doctor said softly, but she was also very scared. She kept asking for you. I came as fast as I could, the doctor smiled. That's what matters. She checked Lily's monitors and left the room quietly. Jason pulled a chair close to the bed. He sat down, still holding Lily's hand. I'm not going anywhere, baby. I'm staying right here all night. Lily's eyes were already getting heavy. The medicine was helping her relax. She tried to talk behind the mask, but Jason shushed her gently. Just rest. Daddy's got you. Within minutes, Lily fell asleep. Her breathing was slow and steady. The monitors showed normal numbers. She was okay. She was going to be okay. Jason watched her sleep for a long time. He studied her face. She looked so much like Sarah. Same nose, same eyebrows, same peaceful expression when she slept. He glanced at the clock on the wall. 11:30 p.m. The game would be over by now. The Bulls won or lost. Jason didn't know and didn't care. The building would be emptying out. Security would be doing their final sweeps. They would check the cameras. They would see Jason's post, empty, abandoned, for over an hour. Jason pulled out his phone. The screen lit up with notifications. 14 missed calls, all from work, 3 voicemails. He couldn't listen to them. Not yet. Not while sitting next to his daughter's hospital bed. He knew what they would say anyway. "Where are you? What happened? You need to call back immediately." And tomorrow they would say just one thing: "You're fired." Jason put his phone on silent and set it down. He looked at Lily's peaceful face again. Her chest rose and fell steadily. She was breathing. She was safe. "I broke the rule," Jason whispered to her sleeping form. "I broke Mr. Jordan's most important rule. Tomorrow I'll lose my job. I'll lose our insurance. I'll lose everything we built." He squeezed her hand gently. "But you know what, baby? I'd do it again. 100 times I'd do it again." Jason leaned his head back against the chair. Exhaustion washed over him, but he didn't close his eyes. He just watched his daughter breathe. Tomorrow, he would face Michael Jordan. Tomorrow, his world would fall apart. But tonight, his daughter was safe, and that was all that mattered. The next morning, 8:45 a.m., Jason woke up stiff and sore. He had slept in the hospital chair all night, still holding Lily's hand. Sunlight streamed through the window. Lily was awake, breathing normally without the oxygen mask. She smiled when she saw him. "Hi, Daddy." "Hi, baby. How do you feel?" "Better. My chest doesn't hurt anymore." Jason kissed her forehead. A nurse came in and checked Lily's vitals. Everything looked good. The doctor said Lily could go home this afternoon. Jason called Mrs. Rodriguez, their neighbor. She was a grandmother who loved Lily like her own grandchild. "Can you pick up Lily from the hospital at 2 o'clock? I have to go to work for a meeting." "Of course, Jason." "Is everything okay?" Jason looked at Lily, who was drawing a picture with crayons the nurse brought her. "Everything's fine, Mrs. Rodriguez. Thank you." He was lying. Nothing was fine. Jason's phone showed a new message from work. It came at 7:08 a.m. this morning. "Mr. Jordan wants to see you. His office. 9:08 a.m. sharp." Jason kissed Lily goodbye. "Mrs. Rodriguez will pick you up later, okay? Be good. I love you, Daddy." "I love you too, baby. More than anything." He walked out of the hospital into the bright morning. The drive to the United Center felt like driving to his own execution. Jason arrived at 8:50 a.m., 10 minutes early. His military training never left him. Even when you're about to be fired, you show up on time. He took the elevator to the executive floor. Each floor that passed felt heavier. 3rd floor, 4th floor, 5th floor. The elevator doors opened. Jason stepped into the quiet hallway. Expensive carpet, framed photos of Jordan's greatest moments, championship trophies in glass cases. The receptionist sat at her desk. Her name was Angela. She usually smiled at Jason. Not today. She looked at him with sad eyes. She knew. "He's waiting for you, Jason," she said softly. She couldn't even look at him directly. Jason nodded. He walked toward Jordan's office. Each step echoed in the silent hallway. He stopped at the door, took a deep breath, straightened his uniform one last time. This was it. Jason knocked twice. "Come in," Jordan's voice called from inside. Jason opened the door and entered. The office was huge. Floor-to-ceiling windows showed all of Chicago. The morning sun made everything bright and clear. Trophies lined the shelves. Basketballs in cases, photos with presidents and celebrities. And behind a massive desk sat Michael Jordan. He wore a black workout shirt. His arms were crossed. He had just finished morning practice. Jason could see the sweat stains. Jordan's face was unreadable. Not angry, not sad, just waiting. "Sit down, Jason." Jason walked to the chair facing Jordan's desk. He sat down at attention, back straight, hands on his knees, like a soldier facing his commander. Jordan didn't speak. He just looked at Jason with those famous, intense eyes. The same eyes that stared down opponents on the basketball court. The same eyes that saw everything. The silence stretched. 10 seconds, 20 seconds, 30 seconds. Finally, Jordan spoke. "You broke the rule. It wasn't a question. It was a statement. A fact. Jason's throat was dry. Yes, sir. You abandoned your post for 1 hour and 47 minutes. Yes, sir. The cameras caught everything. You just ran. Didn't follow protocol. Didn't activate emergency procedures. Just left. Jason felt shame burn in his chest. Yes, sir. Jordan leaned back in his chair. His face was still unreadable. You know what this means. Jason nodded. Yes, sir. I'm prepared to turn in my badge. He reached into his pocket and pulled out his security badge. He placed it on Jordan's desk. The badge that meant everything. The badge that paid for Lily's medicine. The badge that gave them hope. Jason stared at it for a moment, then looked up at Jordan. I'm ready to accept the consequences, sir. More silence. Jordan picked up the badge and turned it over in his hands. He studied it like it was the most interesting thing in the world. Then he set it down and looked at Jason again. Tell me why. 2 simple words, but they carried weight. Jason took a breath. This was his chance. His only chance to explain. He wouldn't waste it. My daughter Lily had a severe asthma attack last night. The hospital called at 9:43 p.m. They said I needed to come immediately. She couldn't breathe. She was scared. She was crying for me. Jordan's expression didn't change. He just listened. Jason continued. I tried to get coverage. I called my supervisor. No answer. I called the backup guard. He was handling a crowd situation. There was no one available. I was alone. Go on. The hospital called again. I could hear Lily in the background. She was calling for me, calling for her daddy. Jason's voice cracked. My wife died 2 years ago. Sarah, she died of cancer. Before she died, she made me promise something. Jordan leaned forward slightly. She made me promise I would always be there for Lily. Always, no matter what. Jason looked Jordan straight in the eyes. Last night I had to choose. Your rule or my promise to my dying wife. My job or my daughter. And you chose your daughter. Yes, sir. I chose my daughter. Jason felt tears forming, but he didn't look away. I broke your rule, Mr. Jordan. I accept full responsibility. I own what I did, but I won't apologize for it. Because if I had that choice again, I'd make the same decision. She's all I have left of my wife. She needed me, and I was there. Jason's voice was firm now, strong. You can fire me. You can take everything away, but you can't take away the fact that my daughter knows her daddy keeps his promises. That's worth more than any job. The office was silent again. Jordan stood up slowly. He walked to the window and looked out at the city. His back was to Jason. Jason waited. This was it, the final moment. Let me tell you about the rule, Jason. Jordan's voice was different now, softer, almost sad. Jason sat up straighter. Jordan turned around, and for the first time, Jason saw something unexpected in those famous eyes. Understanding. Jordan walked back to his desk but didn't sit down. He stood there looking at Jason with an expression that wasn't anger. It was something else, something deeper. The rule, Jordan said slowly, isn't what you think it is. Jason blinked. Confusion crossed his face. You think the rule is never leave your post, never abandon your position, no matter what? Jordan shook his head. That's not the rule, Jason. But you said, let me finish. Jordan's voice was firm but not harsh. The actual rule is this. Never abandon your post without proper communication. Never leave without activating the emergency backup protocol. Always ensure coverage is in place before you go. The words hit Jason like a punch to the chest. The rule was never about being heartless, Jordan continued. It was never about choosing your job over your family. It was about safety, communication, making sure vulnerable areas stay protected. Jason felt his stomach drop. Sir, I didn't... You panicked, Jordan said simply. You got the call about your daughter and you panicked. You forgot your training. You forgot the emergency protocol we created specifically for situations like this. Jason remembered now. The training. The emergency procedures. There was a button, a red button on his phone that activated the emergency backup system. It would have alerted every available guard. It would have pulled someone from a lower priority post to cover his position. He never pressed it. He just ran. "Oh God," Jason whispered. He put his face in his hands. "I could have. There was a way." "Yes," Jordan said. "There was a way. But in that moment, you weren't a trained security professional. You were just a scared father. And scared people don't think clearly." Jordan sat down now. He leaned forward, his arms on his desk. "Let me tell you why this rule exists, Jason. Let me tell you the real story." Jason looked up. Jordan's face was serious, but there was pain in his eyes. Old pain. 8 years ago, I had a different security team. Good people. Dedicated. But we didn't have the protocols we have now. We didn't have the emergency systems. We didn't have the communication structure. Jordan paused. His jaw tightened. One night, there was a Bulls game. Sold-out crowd. One of my security guards got a call. His father had a heart attack. The guard panicked, just like you did last night. He ran to the hospital. Didn't tell anyone. Didn't get coverage. Just left. Jason listened, barely breathing. That guard's post was at the family entrance. The same post I gave you. The most important one. Jordan's voice got quieter. A man came through that entrance while it was unguarded. A stalker. He'd been planning for months. He had photos, letters, obsessive stuff. He got into the family section. My mother was there that night. She was sitting in her usual seat, watching the game. This man walked right up to her. Jason felt cold all over. The police caught him before he could hurt her. But Jason, my mother was terrified. This stranger stood over her, talking crazy, saying things about our family. Security grabbed him within 2 minutes. But those 2 minutes, Jordan's voice cracked slightly. My mother had nightmares for months. The office was absolutely silent. That's when I created the rule, Jordan said. Not because I don't care about families, not because I don't understand emergencies, but because unguarded posts create danger, because communication saves lives, because there's always a way to handle emergencies properly, if people remember their training. Jason felt tears on his cheeks. Mr. Jordan, I'm so sorry. I didn't know. I didn't think. I just heard my daughter crying, and I know, Jordan said softly. You're a father. I understand that. But you're also a professional, and professionals have to think even when their hearts are breaking. Jordan picked up Jason's badge again. He held it between his fingers. That guard I told you about? The one who left his post? Yes, sir. I fired him that night. No second chance. Just like I promised. Jordan looked at the badge, then at Jason. His father survived the heart attack, by the way, but that guard never worked in security again. Jason felt his world crashing down. This was it. The end. Here's what I learned from that experience, Jason. I learned that fear makes us break our own rules. I learned that love makes us forget our training. I learned that being human means making impossible choices. Jordan stood up again. He walked around his desk and stood in front of Jason. I also learned something else. Jason looked up at him, his eyes red. I learned that my rules were incomplete. Because I created a rule based on fear and pain. I created a rule that didn't account for the fact that my people have families, have emergencies, have lives outside these walls. Jordan held out the badge. You broke my rule, Jason. You endangered people. You forgot your training. You deserve to be fired according to the policy I created 8 years ago. Jason nodded. He understood. He stood up to take the badge one last time, but Jordan didn't give it to him. But I'm not going to fire you. Jason froze. He couldn't have heard that correctly. Sir? Jordan held the badge but didn't hand it back yet. Sit down, Jason. I'm not finished. Jason sat slowly. His legs felt weak, confused. Hope and fear mixed together in his chest. Jordan walked back to the window. He looked out at Chicago for a long moment. When he spoke, his voice was different, softer, more personal. I'm going to tell you something I've never told my security team before. Something very few people know. Jason waited. My father was murdered in 1993. James Jordan. He was taking a nap at a highway rest stop in North Carolina. 2 men shot him and stole his car. Jason knew this story. Everyone knew. It was national news. but he stayed quiet. After my father died, I became obsessed with security. I blamed myself. I thought, if only he'd had protection. If only someone had been watching. If only, Jordan's voice was thick with emotion. I created security rules that were so strict, so rigid, because I never wanted to feel that helpless again. He turned back to Jason. But Jason, you know what I learned over the years? I learned that all the security in the world doesn't matter if you lose what you're trying to protect. And I don't mean woolly safety. I mean the things that actually matter. Family, love, promises. Jordan sat on the edge of his desk, closer to Jason now. More like two men talking than a boss and employee. When that hospital called you last night, you didn't think about rules. You didn't think about procedures. You thought about keeping a promise to your wife, to Sarah. Jordan's eyes were gentle. I would have done the same thing, Jason. I have done the same thing. Sir, 3 years ago, my son Jason, yes, I have a son named Jason too. He broke his arm during a basketball game. I was in a business meeting, an important one, millions of dollars on the line. My assistant told me to finish the meeting, that my wife could handle it. Jordan shook his head. I walked out of that meeting, left a room full of angry investors, drove to the hospital. You know what my son said when he saw me? He said, "Dad, you came." Like he was surprised, like he thought maybe I wouldn't. Jordan's voice cracked. That broke my heart, Jason. My own son was surprised that I showed up when he needed me. What kind of father does that make me? What kind of man builds an empire but loses his family? Jason felt tears forming again, but these were different tears. The difference between you and me, Jordan continued, is that I have the power to break my own rules. I can walk out of meetings, I can miss games, I can put family first because I'm the boss. But you didn't have that power. You had to choose between my rule and your daughter, and you chose her. Jordan picked up Jason's badge again. He looked at it. You know what that tells me, Jason? It tells me you understand what really matters. It tells me you're a good father, a man who keeps his promises. And those are exactly the kind of people I want protecting my family. But sir, You broke a flawed rule, Jordan interrupted. A rule I created out of fear and pain instead of wisdom and compassion. You showed me that my system was broken, Jason. You showed me that I built something that forced good men to make impossible choices. Jordan handed the badge back to Jason. So no, I'm not firing you, but you are getting reassigned. Jason's heart sank a little. A demotion then. He understood. He took the badge with shaking hands. I'm creating a new position. Family Emergency Response Coordinator. Jason looked up, confused. Sir? You're going to redesign our entire emergency protocol system. You're going to make sure no other guard ever has to make the choice you made. You're going to create backup systems, communication channels, family emergency procedures. You're going to train every single guard on how to handle real-life emergencies properly. Jason couldn't speak. His throat was too tight. The position pays $75,000 a year, $10,000 more than you make now. The hours are mostly daytime, 8 to 5, so you can be home with Lily at night. You'll have your own office, your own budget, your own team. Mr. Jordan, I don't... It's not a gift, Jason. It's a job, a real job, because your mistake showed me a flaw in my system, and I need you to fix it. You understand what's at stake. You understand why communication matters, but you also understand that people are human, that emergencies happen, that families matter. Jordan extended his hand. So what do you say? Will you help me build a better system? One that protects both people and families? Jason stood up. He shook Jordan's hand. Tears ran down his face freely now. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Jordan pulled Jason into a brief hug, a real hug, one human being to another. Thank you, Jason, for reminding me what matters. When they separated, Jordan smiled, a genuine, warm smile. Now, there's one more thing. Sir, bring Lily to the game this Saturday. Courtside seats, both of you. There's someone I want her to meet. Who? My kids, they're 8 and 10. And my daughter? She loves ballet too. Jason broke down completely then. He couldn't hold it together anymore. He cried, big shoulder-shaking sobs. All the fear, the stress, the shame, the guilt. It all came out. Jordan put a hand on his shoulder and waited. Just waited. Like a friend. Like someone who understood. Finally, Jason wiped his eyes. I'm sorry, Don't apologize for being human, Jason. Don't ever apologize for that. Jordan walked to his desk and pulled out a piece of paper. Take the rest of today off. Be with Lily. Make sure she's okay. Come back Monday morning. We'll start building the new system then. Jason nodded. He couldn't find words. As he walked to the door, Jordan called out, Jason. He turned. Your wife, Sarah. She'd be proud of you. Jason smiled through his tears. Thank you, sir. That means everything. He walked out of the office. Past Angela, the receptionist, who smiled at him this time. Into the elevator. Down to the parking lot. He sat in his car and looked at his badge. Still his. Still valid. But more than that, he had a new job. A better job. A chance to make a real difference. And he had something even more valuable. He had grace. Second chances. Understanding. He had hope. 3 months later, Jason stood in the security briefing room. 15 guards sat in front of him. The same room where Jordan had explained the old rule 6 months ago. But everything was different now. This is your family emergency protocol card, Jason said, holding up a small red card. Keep it in your wallet at all times. It has 3 emergency numbers. 1 reaches me directly. 1 reaches the backup coordination center. 1 reaches Mr. Jordan's personal assistant. He handed stacks of cards to the guards. They each took one and examined it carefully. If you have a family emergency, any emergency, you follow these steps. First, press the red button on your security phone. This alerts the backup system immediately. Second, call one of these numbers. Third, we handle it. We get you coverage. We get you to your family. A young guard named Antonio raised his hand. What if it's the middle of a game? What if everyone's busy? Jason smiled. We built the system so someone is always available. Always. You will never be alone. You will never have to choose between your job and your family. The guards nodded. Some smiled. This was different. This felt right. Mr. Jordan approved these changes himself, Jason continued. He expanded our family insurance benefits too. Your kids' medical care is fully covered now. Dental, vision, mental health, everything. One of the older guards spoke up. Why the change? What made Mr. Jordan do this? Jason looked at his own red card. Because someone made a mistake. And instead of just punishing that mistake, Mr. Jordan learned from it. He realized his system needed to be better, more human. The room was quiet. We protect people for a living, Jason said softly. But we're people too. We have families. We have emergencies. We have lives. This new system respects that. After the meeting, several guards approached Jason to thank him. Word had spread about what happened that night. They knew Jason broke the rule. They knew Jordan didn't fire him. They knew something had changed. The security team felt different now. People smiled more, talked more. They felt valued, respected, like they mattered beyond just their uniforms. And the word spread beyond the Bulls. Other NBA teams called. They wanted to know about the family emergency protocol. The Knicks implemented it first, then the Lakers, then the Heat. Jason became a consultant. Teams flew him in to train their security staff. He taught them about backup systems and emergency communication, about treating guards like humans, not just employees. But Jason's proudest moment wasn't the consulting work. It was Lily's ballet recital. 2 months after the hospital, Lily wore a pink tutu and white ballet slippers. Her hair was pulled back in a tight bun. She looked beautiful. She looked like Sarah. Jason sat in the front row of the small theater. He wasn't alone. 3 of his fellow security guards sat with him. They came to support Lily, to support their friend. The music started. Lily danced. She spun and leaped and smiled. Her breathing was strong. Her asthma was under control. The new insurance covered better medicine. She was thriving. When the recital ended, Lily ran to Jason. He scooped her up and spun her around. You were perfect, baby. Absolutely perfect. Did you see my spin, Daddy? I didn't fall. I saw everything. Mommy saw everything too. Lily hugged him tight. Back in the dressing room, Lily found a huge bouquet of flowers waiting. The card read, "To Lily, dance like your mother is watching. She is. MJ." Lily's eyes went wide. "Daddy, Mr. Jordan sent me flowers." Jason smiled. "He sure did." Lily carefully removed the card and tucked it into her ballet bag. "I'm keeping this forever." That card stayed in her ballet bag, a reminder that kindness comes from unexpected places. One Saturday afternoon, Jason drove to the cemetery. He hadn't been here in a while. Life got busy, good busy. He stood at Sarah's grave. The headstone was simple. Sarah Lara, beloved wife and mother. Jason knelt down and touched the cold stone. "Hi, Sarah. I have so much to tell you." Jason sat on the grass next to her headstone. The autumn sun felt warm on his face. "I kept my promise. You told me to always be there for Lily. I was there when she needed me most. Even when it cost me everything." He smiled. "Except it didn't cost me everything. It gave me something instead. It gave me understanding, grace, a second chance." Jason told Sarah about Jordan, about the rule, about the hospital, about everything that happened. "You would like Mr. Jordan. He's not what people think. He's tough, yes, but he's also kind. He understands loss. He understands what matters." A breeze blew through the cemetery. Jason felt it on his face like a gentle touch. "Lily is thriving. She dances 3 times a week now. Her asthma is controlled. She's happy, Sarah. She talks about you every day. She knows you're watching." Jason placed fresh flowers by the headstone. "I learned something important. I learned that sometimes breaking rules is the only way to fix them. That mistakes can teach us. That grace is more powerful than punishment." He stood up slowly. "I'll come back soon, I promise. I love you, Sarah. Always." Jason walked back to his car. His phone buzzed. A text from Lily. "Daddy, game tonight. Don't forget." Jason smiled. How could he forget? That evening, 1 year after the rule was broken, Jason arrived at the United Center in his street clothes. No uniform tonight. Tonight, he was just a dad. Lily bounced beside him wearing her Bulls jersey. It was way too big. It hung past her knees. "Are we really sitting courtside, Daddy?" "Really and truly." They walked through the family entrance. The same entrance Jason used to guard. A young guard stood there now. His name was Antonio. Jason had trained him personally. "Evening, Mr. Lara," Antonio said with respect. "Evening, Antonio. How's the new system working?" "Perfect, sir. No problems at all." Jason patted his shoulder. "Good man. Call me if you need anything." They found their seats, right on the court, so close Lily could touch the players if she reached out. Jordan was already on the court, warming up. He saw Jason and Lily. He jogged over. "There's my favorite ballet dancer." Jordan knelt down to Lily's level. Lily's face turned bright red. "Hi, Mr. Jordan. You ready to see some basketball?" "Yes, sir." Jordan high-fived her. Then he looked at Jason and winked. "Enjoy the game." As Jordan ran back to the court, Lily grabbed Jason's hand. "Daddy, Mr. Jordan is so nice." "Yes, baby, he really is." The game started. The crowd roared. Music blasted. Energy filled the arena. Jason watched Lily's face light up with joy. She cheered. She clapped. She laughed. This was the life Sarah dreamed of for their daughter. Happiness, hope, love. Jason thought about that terrible night 1 year ago. The phone call, the panic, the impossible choice. He thought about breaking the rule. He thought about what came after. Grace, understanding, second chances. Jordan made a shot. The crowd exploded. Lily jumped up and screamed with joy. Jason pulled her close and kissed the top of her head. He whispered to himself, words he would carry forever. The greatest strength isn't following every rule perfectly. It's having the wisdom to know which rules protect us and which ones we need to rewrite together. Rules matter, but people matter more. Grace matters most of all. So that's the incredible true story of Jason Lara and Michael Jordan. A story about breaking rules, second chances, and choosing what really matters. Now I want to hear from you. Where are you watching this from? Drop your city and country in the comments right now. I love seeing our amazing community from all around the world. And if this story touched your heart, hit that like button. Subscribe to this channel so we can keep spreading stories of kindness and hope together. Because the world needs more grace, more understanding, more people like Michael Jordan who choose compassion over rules. And don't go anywhere yet. Click on the video appearing on your screen right now. It's another incredible story you absolutely need to hear. Thanks for watching. Keep being kind. I'll see you in the next one.